Your friends aren't actually your friends. And I think it's about time somebody told you guys that, especially if you are under the age of 27, honestly, because I know a couple people that are older, 30, 33, 34, and their friends are no good and they know that, but they still are persistent on hanging out with these people. And I sit back and I ask myself, like, if you know that this person doesn't like you and they're only around you because you guys drink, you guys are always going out and you're spending most of the money on everyone's entertainment, and you know this, why do you still continue to hang out with these people? For a lot of people that are younger, you don't really know that yet. Maybe some people do, but for those that don't, I was one of the people that didn't really notice it at first. But a lot of your friends are honestly, especially when you're young, like I said, or honest, and just throughout life, a lot of your friends are only around you for something that they benefit from because of you or the friendship circle that you guys have. Your friends are always going to want to make sure that you have the best or want the best for you. And they wouldn't hide anything, especially knowledge that's going to help uplift you in your life. Because, like I said, if your friend is really your friend, they're going to want to see you doing just as good as they are in life. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you really know if someone genuinely cares about you. I'm not saying I know everything, but I know just enough to pass it on to the next person. And, maybe somebody else could teach me something after watching this video, and I can teach that to somebody else. And, it keeps the knowledge flowing. Because the one thing about knowledge, and this is one thing before we get started, I hate people that do this, that try to gatekeep knowledge, especially gatekeeping, but gatekeeping knowledge is one thing that I hate. Because if you know something, how could you not want to go and tell everybody what you just learned or what you know? Especially if it's something to uplift or that's going to help somebody. Why wouldn't you want to share that with others? Why would you want to hide that behind a paywall, or just not tell anyone in general and be selfish with the information that you know? Because if it wasn't for the person that told you or the source that you got it from, you wouldn't know it in the first place, because they weren't selfish with it, clearly. So why should you take it amongst yourself to hide that information from others? But regardless of which, that isn't why I invited you guys to watch this video today. Because a lot of us got the definition of acquaintances and friendships mixed up. Because an acquaintance is somebody you just hang out with, like, Joshua at work. You might see him and you say what's up to him. You hold a conversation about some small talk at work. But outside of work, you don't ever go out of your way to talk to him. Now, even though that's a different example, still, even if you see this person every day, you might smoke a little bit of weed with them, or smoke cigs, go skating, or play video games. There's still something that you guys like have in common, that that's what makes you guys seem like you're friends, but you're not really friends. You guys just all have one thing in common that you all partake with each other. You know what I'm saying? That's what a lot of us have, and we don't notice this when we're young until we get older, or even because it doesn't really come with age. Because just because you get older doesn't mean you get smarter. You know what I'm saying? You could be an idiot at 15, and if you're a fucking 65 and you didn't learn anything, you're going to be an idiot at 65. So just because you get older, a lot of people assume getting older, you immediately learn, like it's a fucking level up skill, that, oh, my knowledge increased. Now I know calculus, or now I know the meaning of life. Like, no, those are things, like everything, it's a journey that you have to go through to really learn these things, hard work, reading, exploring, being a part of life and not the virtual world. It takes a lot to get those things. It's not instant, that's nothing other than playing video games is instant gratification. It actually takes this thing called time. And I'm glad that I'm learning this, and I wish I would have learned this a little bit earlier, but honestly, it's good to hear it now. Take yourself out of whatever situation you're in. You could do this, works with any example or any situation, but we'll use our friends. Take yourself out of yourself, and put you and your friends in a circle, and look at the things that you guys do, and look at the things that maybe your friends do, say to you, or act, or do you guys hang out, and just look at the thing that you guys do and subtract the things that you guys all like, and see if you guys would still be able to hold out your friendship. Now, a lot of you guys actually wouldn't be able to. And it'll show you, like, maybe the people that I think are my friends actually aren't my friends. Because some people are really good at hiding the fact they don't like you. For example, one thing in human nature that hasn't changed is people are willing to put themselves through stressful or situations they would rather not want to be in if there is something to gain from that situation. Like, for example, fear factor. Do you really want to sit in a tub of fucking roaches for fun? No. But if someone like Joe Rogan, or for example, told you, hey, if you sit in this tub of roaches for 5 minutes, you're going to get $5,000, you're more reluctant to want to sit in that tub of roaches now because, hey, even though you don't want to do it, you'll probably do it because you know you're going to get something out of it, which is $5,000. Now, a lot of people are like that with their friendships, where I don't want to hang out with Trent, but because Trent's parents are rich, they always invite me out when I go over his house. So why would I not want to be friends with Trent? Because, you know, like I said, his parents are always doing something, and Trent lets you borrow his shit whenever you ask. So there's something to benefit from that. You may not want to go over Jason's or hang out with Jason all the time, but Jason's brother, he's the plug, and you guys get good bud prices through Jason. So fuck it. Jason's in the group too because he's the bud man. Trent's the rich guy. You know, like you build your circle of friends based off what's around. Depending on whether or not, like, you can, it's fine to do that because, you know, it's human nature. Everybody does it. Whether they say they don't do it, they're lying. Just like how people say they don't see color. How could you not see if someone's Asian, black, or white? Of course you're going to see these things, but to base somebody based off the color or ethnicity that they are is a different level than saying, hey, I don't see color. You just sound like a fucking moron when you say that. So it's the same thing for saying that you don't base your friendships off of the benefits that you get from them, because that's kind of how friendships work. It's just to the extent where if you actually care about that person, regardless of the benefits that you get out of that person. So for example, if you see your buddy doing bad, well, you're going to want to go over there and console him and, you know, cheer him up, right? But sometimes not everybody's like that. They'll know that their buddy's not doing well, and they might not give a fuck of checking in or seeing how he is. And at the end of the day, I'm guilty of this myself. I'm not a fucking saint. We all are. We're human. We're born to make mistakes, but it's learning from the mistakes that we make that's what's important. And not everybody really understands that. That's not as important right now. But we base our friendships off the benefits that we get out of these people. You need to really look at your friendships and see if they really genuinely care about you as a person. You know your friends are real, right? Where even though in the moment they might say otherwise, but you really would know how your friends really would be. Where if you and maybe one other buddy, because it's maybe with 4, you might be able to make it out alive. But with you and your buddy, right? Let's say your best fucking friend. If you guys stumble upon $1 million, right? Which is a pretty decent amount of money. And he's willing to split it 50-50, no problem. If you ask him like, yo, we find $1 million, like right now, no bullshit, what are you doing? If his first thought isn't splitting it 50-50, because a lot of people say it, but they won't mean it, that's a problem. Some people will say they will, but really like my friend Pierce, sorry to name drop you, bro, but he said it perfectly. That's a lot of money, all right? In the moment, in the heat of the moment, if you find $1 million fucking dollars with one other person, the chances are, even though $500,000 is good, if you kill the other nigga you're with, all that money is yours. And a lot of people in the heat of the moment with all that stake at risk, they're willing, even if it's their best friend, to take that person out for their own gain. And to be honest with you, a lot of people are like that. And so many people, especially, you know, the youth, you know, especially a lot of men without father figures, I realize this too, me and myself included, that we're more gullible to the harshness of life, you know? Because I feel like we're a little bit more sheltered in terms of what we think life is more capable of when it comes to doing bad shit, like in terms of crime, the grittiness, the harsh realities of life. Because if you don't have a father, if you weren't brought up in the streets, you were raised by a woman. And you know, a woman's take on life is a lot more feeling and emotional based. Not saying that's bad, because you need to be in line with both your masculine, more your masculine than your feminine, but you know, you need to have awareness of both. And having that balance, you know, torn apart by a lack of a father figure in your life, you're not really going to know the truth of the harshness of reality, which is something that all men must go through. And I'm glad that one thing my father was able to teach me when I asked him why I didn't have a lot of them was that you should never have too many friends.